Gentlemen, today we are delving into a topic that may be pushing the boundaries. Sometimes when men gather and begin to chat, we find ourselves teetering on the brink, on the precipice overlooking the topics that we tend not to delve into on the norm. Today, however, we are going to get into some topics that all men need to know. Grab some earbuds. Let me tell you about some things your dad probably did not tell you. First, I will tell you 5 things a woman does after sex, and then I will break down why women sleep with men, so you can have an idea of which strategy you want to take. After having sex with a woman, there are 5 things you might notice. Remember, not everyone experiences all of them, but you'll likely see at least 2 or 3. Let's break it down. 1. Emotional connection. After having sex, she might get emotionally connected to you. It's a big deal, especially if you weren't looking for that. Women often feel a certain way after being intimate, and it can range from temporary feelings to deep emotions. The way a woman's brain is wired plays a role in this connection. Men's brains are like waffles, and we can separate most things from each other and compartmentalize our feelings from actions. We can sleep with a girl we hate. Women's brains are like spaghetti, and everything tends to touch. So if she is sleeping with you, just know that she won't be able to separate the physical from the emotional for very long. 2. Awkwardness. She might feel awkward around you after the act. This could make her shy, unsure of how to look at you, or even avoid being around you. Cultural or personal values might contribute to this awkwardness. Don't worry about it. You just keep up the charm, keep up the charisma, and allow her to feel comfortable with your congruent energy. 3. Reaching out. If she's reaching out to you more than before, that's a common occurrence. After sex, she might be the one calling or texting, showing more interest. It's her way of dealing with the experience and possibly wanting to connect more. If you are that guy who calls the girl after a fun night to ask her if she enjoyed it, go ahead and give yourself an L. Let her go home and roll around in her bed. Let her call her friends. Relax, champ. You did it. Don't be so eager to lock it down. That's her job. 4. Jealousy. She could become jealous when she sees you with other women. This jealousy might show in her attitude, especially when she notices you interacting with other females. It's a protective instinct that can be common among both men and women. 5. Little Miss Energy. She might become a bit touchy or easily irritated compared to before. Arguments might increase, making it seem like you're in a more serious relationship. This behavior is rooted in her desire for security and a sense of ownership, even if it wasn't the initial plan. First off, women enjoy sex. Yes, I know, crazy to believe, right? And they enjoy it, especially when it's in a stable and loving relationship. But here's the thing. Some women also have sex with guys they're not officially dating. Why? Well, they might really like the guy and believe that giving him what he wants will bring them closer. We see this now more than ever, and it's one of the contributing factors to why so many men are confused today. Women all want the same guys, so they are all chasing the same guys, and in turn, are sleeping with the same guys. This is because this generation of men grew up hearing things like, men need to listen to women more, or women's opinions are never listened to, and with no understanding of the history behind it, most men did what they were told. Here is the kicker. Women are extremely more socially adept than men, and unfortunately, most men will never be able to keep up. If you ever worked a job as a bouncer or as a security at the door of a nightclub, you would understand that women are extremely capable of lying to get what they want. When women say things like, "I want a nice guy," or "I want to be treated equally," average men stood up and began running to their aid. What these men did not realize is that women were not speaking to all men. They were speaking to the men they actually wanted. She doesn't want any guy all to herself. She wants the man with all the women, all to herself. This is why they sleep with the men who are the opposite of what they say they want. And let's say they do end up with a nice guy. How do they treat him? Most nice guys that actually end up getting girls, usually because she has a bolder than normal, masculine personality, and he just happened to be tall or good-looking, end up being emasculated in relationships. The lie is a shaming tactic to get the player to change his ways. But men, with our inability to read between the lines, always miss the point. Now, there are different types of women when it comes to sex. Some enjoy one-night stands, but if you're looking for a serious relationship, be careful because they might not be the best match. These women might be more into casual fun than commitment. These women typically tend to look for something stable as their youth runs out, and nice guys are usually their prey. These women typically are stuck in a loop because the first guy she slept with was very well-rounded. It's a sad reality because what tends to happen is, after a girl lays with a man, the next guy tends to have to be better than the last, because in her mind, she believes she deserves better. However, in reality, and most men probably understand this better than women, if you can't beat level 10, maybe you should go down to a lower level, not a higher one. Women don't understand this because they have a skewed concept of value. Then, there are those women who engage in what seems like a transactional kind of sex. They expect something in return, like a favor or a gift. It's kind of like a business deal, which can be a bit tricky in a relationship. These are the women that chose rich men, and can often be found on higher-end dating sites and sugar sites. These women look at their beauty as currency that they will use to buy the worldly things they want. Most men should stay away from these women unless they are extremely rich and value pleasure more than money. I personally, no matter how wealthy I become, won't ever be attracted to these types of women. In long-term relationships, some women might see sex as an obligation to keep their partner happy. This isn't ideal, and it's important for both partners to talk about their needs and feelings. There are so many men out there in sexless marriages. Yes, you heard it right, and many of you men listening right now will be one of them. The couple videos, cute foodie dates, and all the little trendy things about relationships will eventually fade away. Almost every action a woman does usually circles back to either a need for attention or a need for validation. When your validation no longer means anything to her, and the attention your relationship garners eventually gets old and fades away, you will see her start to get bored in the relationship and start to miss the feelings she had in the past. Sex will become a chore for her. But lastly, don't worry. There are plenty of healthy relationships out there with a good balance of love and intimacy. It all comes down to communication, respect, and understanding each other's boundaries. Most men will never get these relationships because you are unwilling to accept female nature and appreciate women for who they are. When you stop being mad that women are not the creatures you desired from your video games, anime, TV shows, and movies, and recognize that they are people and imperfect, then you will be able to clearly see the beautiful things women can bring to your life. Here's the kicker. In order to get the best out of a woman, you have to fully embrace masculinity, as women will never thrive in an unsafe environment. Embracing masculinity, learning about charm and charisma, and focusing on your purpose will allow women to chase you long-term, and yes, share her body with you for a long time. She has to admire you. Make no mistake, to aspire to greater achievements and reach unprecedented heights in life, kindly consider endorsing this video by giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with a trusted companion, and subscribing to our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated.